Alright, I've got to move this project out of the way because we have new prints. Alright, I'm excited about this. I get my prints from a company called Cat Print. I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but I like their price, I like the quality of their prints. I've been getting prints from them maybe for 2 years now. Never mind all the customer projects hanging out in the background. Bad camera angle, but I wanted you guys to see when they ship my prints to me, they're wrapped really well. All this bubble wrap in here. Oh, I don't want you to see what it is yet. They're down here. They usually end up giving me a sample of something. For this, it's showing their paper quality, the print quality, tells you what it is. Really cool. Little note in every box. But yeah, I like this company. I gotta show you these. We get one unwrapped from the cellophane. Try to do it without scratching the back of it. Although one of them will become a display print. I've never had a problem with anything coming in damaged from them. Here we go. This is the newest. Hold on a minute, Future Jack here. Before showing you the finished product on this, let me go back and show you guys a little bit of the making of it and tell you how this piece came to be. So at the time I'm talking to you, I've actually had these prints for a little while now. I was having a hard time getting them on my website. Nothing wrong with the website or anything, just I'm not a computer person. But I didn't want to put this video out until I had them on the website. That way if you're watching this, you can go on the website and check them out. If you don't know, the website's jackflemingartistry.com. This project actually is part of a series. And it goes back, I think, 3 other pieces prior to this one. The idea behind this series was to take certain kinds of fandoms, in this case it's Ford trucks or F-Series trucks, and kind of reach out to the fans, make something that they would be interested in having. So I made a post on Facebook and said, hey, I'm going to do a drawing that's going to be just Ford trucks, just F-Series trucks. If you would like your drawing, or excuse me, your truck in this drawing, let me know. Send me a picture, tell me what year it is and all. Or if there's a truck that you think is iconic, something that really represents F-Series trucks, shoot me that as a suggestion. Let's put in this drawing stuff that is really cool to Ford truck fans. I've done the same thing now with Volkswagens and pre-World War II hot rods. Maybe that's it, I can't really remember. But every time I've done this, I've gotten really good responses from people. People seem to be really excited about that. And to me, that's really cool. That's kind of the payoff. Having a dialogue with the people that follow the artwork that I create and create something for them. Something that's made from the stuff that they want to see. And I think that's pretty neat. So in this, we have both, followers' trucks. Some of them are trucks that people sent me pictures of saying, hey, this was my dad's truck when I was growing up. Or I had another guy that sent me a picture of a truck that he's building with his 2 kids. Guy I share a shop with sent me a picture of his favorite Ford truck that he's had. A lot of different stuff. And then again, iconic Ford trucks. We've got Bigfoot in there. I don't think you can have a thing of Ford trucks without having Bigfoot. I've got Ed Roth's truck in here. You can see me inking that here in this. But again, all these different trucks, putting them in there, ones that people have seen at shows and stuff that they thought were really cool. 1 or 2 of them in here are ones that I just thought would be really cool to have in here. They belong to people that I either know or they're trucks that I see at shows and stuff a lot. So let's talk a little bit about the process of making these drawings. If you go back to the very beginning of my YouTube channel, you'll find that's really kind of why I started this channel in the first place, was to show you guys the process and stuff on these drawings that I'm doing with all these cars and stuff. I know we've done a lot of pinstriping on here, sign painting and stuff. it's kind of developed into a thing. I feel like it's really important to do these videos nowadays, especially since we have AI and all that kind of stuff, to show you guys the process here, to show you how these are made, that they are made by hand. They're freehand drawings. Once I get pictures and stuff from people, I don't just copy the pictures. I start off by doodling out little bitty tiny really rough sketches. They're called thumbnails, just to figure out the design of what I want. After I kind of get a loose idea of that, I take a piece of paper and I hand draw boxes. I figure out what the drawing's going to look like with boxes. I'm not even drawing trucks, I'm not even drawing buildings, it's just boxes to figure out what things are going to be. After that, then I start taking those boxes and turning them into the trucks, in this case, that people sent me pictures of, or that I found pictures of stuff that I wanted to put into this. So again, it all starts off with boxes, and then it's just taking those boxes and adding the details and stuff to them to make them become the trucks or cars or whatever it is that we're looking for. I actually really like whenever I'm inking nowadays, I take my drawing, which is just on like regular white drawing paper, I think Strathmore sometimes, or sometimes I'll even use copy paper and stuff. Draw that out on pencil, and then I put it on my light table, and I line up a piece of bristle board or bristle paper over the top of it. And that's clean and white, and then using my light table, the drawing shows through, and I'm able to ink on top of a fresh, clean piece of paper. I kind of do this for two reasons. One, to have a good, clean drawing, but two, I scan those inked drawings whenever they're done, and it's not a real big secret, but I'm kind of keeping all of these scanned black and white line drawings because eventually I want to end up doing like an adult coloring book of cars and hot rods and stuff like that. And just because people often ask, the tools that I'm using in this are starting off with actually just a regular number 2 pencil. Usually end up after that kind of dialing it in with a mechanical pencil. Again, just a number 2 one, nothing special. And then I end up inking these with micron pens for the most part, sometimes Copic pens. I always like to give you guys some tips and stuff you can see in some of these videos here, or little clips and stuff here, that I take opaque pieces of paper that light won't shine through. It's a drop off from my backing boards whenever I stock prints, and I like to kind of block out the outside of the drawing. That way there's not so much light coming through, and it makes it a little bit easier for me to see what it is that I'm inking. I guess in a way, the prints that I make, that I sell on my website and I sell at car shows and stuff like that, are kind of a passion project. I really like doing these drawings, and there's a lot of time that's involved in making them. I think like usually on the research side, several hours over, like a week's time sometimes. And then on top of that, I mean, the drawing process on it, getting the actual drawing, I spend at least a day or two, and I'm talking 8 to 10 hour days just doing the pencil drawing parts of these. And the inking part of it, again, is often another 2 days. Coloring it, another few days or so. There's well over a week's full work involved in each one of these, sometimes more. But I really like doing it. And with that, I realized, if I want to share these with other people, and I want as many people to be able to enjoy these as possible, it's not, I guess, in my best interest or in other people's best interest for me to sell the originals and have only one person have it, but to be able to make prints and sell those affordably. Talked a little bit at the beginning of this video about the place that I get prints through. I get good high quality prints from them at a really good rate so that I can sell them again affordably so as many people as possible can enjoy these. That's really the main goal of these, is to kind of bring enjoyment to other people. I think I might have said it in another video before on this channel, but there was a time whenever I was frustrated with art. I'd been obsessed with art my whole life. It really is an obsession. drawing, painting, always wanted to do something with it career-wise, and at the time, I didn't think it was possible. I worked construction and stuff and did art part-time and showed in galleries and things like that, hoping that, some miracle would happen and people would find my artwork and I'd be able to make a living with it. And it never really did. Different story on how I got to the point of drawing and painting full time, but at that period of time, I was ready to just kind of give up because it seemed like all I ever did was spent money on art supplies and it never even really hardly paid for itself. And I had a guy that I knew that I talked to, and I was telling him, about this. We were talking, and how it was frustrating to me, and it seemed like it was just a waste. And in some cases, I guess, I felt like I was just trying to show stuff to people to be like, look how good I am at doing this or whatnot. And that's kind of pointless, or at least to me it was kind of pointless. He said, art, and he was talking about music, poetry, drawing, painting, you name it. He said it brings a lot of joy to other people. And he told me about a time in his life whenever he was dealing with a lot of depression and stuff, and it was art that gave him something outside of himself, I guess, that brought him joy and helped him get out of that dark place. And that was kind of a turning point for me in my life. Very shortly after that's whenever I ended up going back to art school to become a teacher. But I kind of realized if I'm going to do this, it has to be something that brings me joy and also is to bring joy to other people. And I think this print series of trying to get other people's ideas and what it is that they like and put it into these drawings is a good way of doing that. It helps me be in, I guess, a good mentally healthy place. I don't know if you guys think I'm just rambling here, but I wanted to share that with y'all. That's really what a lot of these is about. Trying to share with other people something that they can feel a part of, represents, maybe their lifestyle or something. For people I know that are way into Ford trucks, go to truck shows and stuff, and there are Ford truck shows out there. It's a lifestyle. Same with other truck shows and different kinds of car shows and stuff. You become a family with the other people that are part of that. And it's cool to be able to represent that in a piece of artwork and hopefully have other people enjoy that and feel that it's something that they can relate to. And the other thing that I really like to do with these is put as many little bitty things in there so that if I can get someone's attention to look at it, they start finding little things. I guess they call them like Easter eggs in movies, right? You start finding signs that maybe you've recognized that you've seen before, or vehicles that you've seen before, little jokes sometimes. Sometimes I'll put bumper stickers and stuff in these that tie into that fan base that, you wouldn't notice unless you're really sitting there looking at them. And I always try to put at least one person in there. It's usually me. It's almost like a Where's Waldo kind of thing in a way. But, it becomes kind of a hunt and peck and find cool things within these pieces of artwork. The former art teacher in me has one more tip that I'd like to share with you about the process of inking before we start talking about the color on this piece. And that's, as I usually try to start working in the front, inking the things that are closest to us, right? Usually in the lower part of the drawing. And I use a broader pen so that I have heavier line width. And as I move throughout the picture farther back in space, usually moving up the piece, I go down with the size of the, I want to say pen nib. They're not dip pens though. But the size of the pen so that it's becoming a skinnier and skinnier line as I get farther to the back. This kind of helps with atmospheric perspective. Whenever you look at things, say in a photograph or in real life, the farther they get away, the less detail that they have to them. It's kind of helped whenever you're inking if you have thicker lines in the front, skinnier lines in the back. Not only is the perspective in the drawing then, causing it to look like 3D space, but you've also got that line width helping to create more depth in the picture. I feel like these three prints right here have a very similar feel in how they're drawn, I also feel like those three kind of look a lot alike in the fact that there's a lot of color going on. I think I want this one to stand out. My initial thought on how to make this one stand out from the others that have so many colors was to limit my color palette. By starting off and doing the whole thing in black and white, just a bunch of different grays, and then come back over it with transparent layers of color that would be really light and just real limited. But I'll tell you, as I went through and was working on this, I decided that I kind of liked it just as a grayscale. So when I started the grayscale part of this, you'll see here, I pulled out all the markers that I thought that I wanted to use, test them all out on a separate piece of paper, basically making a grayscale with them so I can see which ones are going to be darker, how much darker they're going to be. That way I can go through and start coloring the piece, knowing which marker is going to do what for me. When I originally started doing these multicolored drawings like this, before I started doing the ones with other people's involvement on them, I was using watercolor to color them, something I was really familiar with, that I like using. But as I've been going throughout the years on this, I've found that I really like using these markers. These are Prismacolor markers. The reason that I like these is when it comes to making prints and stuff, I like how the colors that I color with turn out in print form. I can get things as bold as I want. I can get the kind of textures and stuff that I want out of it, smoothness, a little bit of boldness and stuff to it easily with these, and be able to doctor that up if I need to in Photoshop as far as like how saturated it looks or how bright or dull those colors look. So I do start off with marker. Later on I go in the computer and just play with the levels and stuff a little bit to get the contrast to look good for print. Trying to make it look like the actual drawing. You see I've got my paper turned completely upside down. That way my hands aren't on the paper as much. They're causing it to be dirty. I also put a clean piece of paper underneath my hand whenever I'm working a lot. Might have seen that while I was inking. Definitely see it while I'm coloring here. I like to start with my lightest colors, or I guess my lightest values in this sense, and work from light to dark. I've already put my darkest darks in the picture. You can see that really dark black inside the garage there. Whenever I was inking, we went and did those. But then it's starting with the lightest colors and working your way up. Or not up, but down in value. Art teacher thing again, you know, higher value means lighter, darker value means darker, or lower value means darker. I thought it was kind of neat as I was working on this particular piece, specifically working on the color for it here. I did take into consideration, as you saw, the other pieces that I have that I've already done. I might have mentioned before, I'm not really selling the originals on these anymore. I'd love at some point in time to have an art show with all of them hanging up. I think it'd be really kind of cool, or maybe even a book or something. And keeping that in mind, I like the idea of this one being black and white, because it gives variety to all the pieces as a whole. Whenever they're all together at my booth, for instance, and they're out there for display, they don't all look like the same drawing as much. So making this one black and white kind of helps make the entire series, I guess you'd say, a little bit more interesting to look at together. I don't know, maybe if somebody out there likes these enough and they're collecting them, they hang them all up, there's a little bit more variety in what they have hanging on the wall there. Definitely appreciate anybody who's watched this video this far and continued listening to it. A lot of drawing on this one, a lot of talking, a little bit lengthier video. If you have been following along this long, let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious how many people actually pay attention to the whole video here, or at least listen to the whole thing. If you're like me, I throw videos and stuff on while I'm working in the studio, let them play in the background. It's kind of background noise, but at the same time, I learn a lot of stuff. I always find it interesting to see what other people are doing as artists, what their process is. If you're an artist and you're listening to these and stuff and you have a YouTube video, let me know that down in the comments too. I'd love to listen to y'all's videos and stuff while I'm working. If you're not an artist and you watch these videos, let me know that in the comments too. I'm not just trying to get comments and stuff here, but I really am curious who it is that watches the videos here and why it is that they watch them. Also, let me know the things that you guys would like to see in videos or how you'd like to see me improve these. This is maybe one of the more dry videos and stuff that I've made. But I really wanted to put this content out there. I wanted to show you guys the process on these, my thinking behind them, what the goal is, I guess, for this series, and let you know it's ongoing. This is going to be a long series. Here's the finished on this one. Kind of look it over and stuff here. This is what the prints look like. This is actually looking at one of the prints here. I love this drawing. I love all the details in it. I love all the different vehicles, and I love that other people have been a part of it. So if this video is live, then these prints are on my website, jackflemingartistry.com. I will also have these at my booth at upcoming shows if you guys find me there. And I've just recently started framing some, so I have framed prints at the booth as well as regular prints. I don't have framed prints on the website yet, but hopefully that's coming sometime soon. As usual, click on one of the other two videos that pops up here, or like and subscribe, and until next time, y'all have a great day. See you later.